Hello. Today we are going to talk about predicates with Miss Harrier. We are going to focus on 3 types of predicates: simple predicates, complete predicates, and compound predicates. First, let's think, what is a predicate? Well, a predicate is the part of a sentence that contains the verb or the action word. The predicate is really just telling us what the subject is doing. Let's look at a detailed example. Marisha baked the cake for my birthday. Marisha is the subject because that is who or what the sentence is about. Baked the cake for my birthday is the predicate. We know that because it starts with the word baked. The rest of the words, the cake for my birthday, modify that verb or give descriptions about it. So that entire part, outlined in red, baked the cake for my birthday, would be the predicate. We're going to break this down more simply now. The predicate can also just say something about the subject. Here are 2 different examples. She is a good cook. They felt happy. In the first example, is in bold. This is actually a linking verb. It doesn't show an obvious action, but it is in fact a verb. She is a good cook. She being the subject, is a good cook being the predicate. The second example is very similar. They felt happy. Felt is our linking verb. Felt happy would be our predicate. Let's start with simple predicates. A simple predicate is the verb without any of the other words that modify or describe it. Marisha baked the cake yesterday. Remember, a verb is an action word. Baked is our verb. That's it. Baked, therefore, is our simple predicate. It's simple. Let's practice identifying simple predicates. Here are 4 examples. She sat on the steps. My dog ran into the yard. Mary is happy to be home. The lights flicker throughout the day. Remember, a simple predicate is just the verb. Let's start with the first one. She sat on the steps. What do you think the simple predicate is? If you answered sat, you are correct. Number 2, my dog ran into the yard. This one has an obvious verb. Therefore, ran is our simple predicate. Number 3, Mary is happy to be at home. Remember, sometimes our verbs are not obvious actions. In this case, is our linking verb. So is the simple predicate. Number 4, the lights flicker throughout the day. What do you think the last simple predicate is on this slide? If you guessed flicker, you are correct. Now let's move on to complete predicates. The complete predicate is the verb along with all the words that modify or complete it. Here are 2 examples. The first one should look familiar. Marisha baked the cake yesterday. Baked is our verb. The cake yesterday gives more detail or modifies that verb, baked. Therefore, baked the cake yesterday is our complete predicate. The next sentence says, she had made cupcakes too. Had made would be our verb. Had made what? Cupcakes too. Cupcakes too modifies the verb made. Therefore, had made cupcakes too is our complete predicate. All right, let's try to find the complete predicates this time. We have the same sentences as before. She sat on the steps. If we know that sat is our verb, what is our complete predicate? Therefore, what are the other words that modify the verb? you should be thinking, sat on the steps. If you were, you are correct. That is our complete predicate. Number 2, my dog ran into the yard. We know the subject is my dog. If ran is our verb, what is the rest of the sentence that modifies the verb ran? Your complete predicate would be ran into the yard. These are the things you should be thinking about when trying to come up with your answers. Let's try to do the last two on your own. Mary is happy to be at home. The lights flicker throughout the day. Think about the verb and the words that modify that verb. For number 3, you should have chosen that is happy to be at home is the complete predicate. Remember, is your linking verb. For the last one, the lights flicker throughout the day. Flicker throughout the day would be your complete predicate. Compound predicates are similar, but have one little piece that's different. A compound predicate has 2 or more verbs or action words. Here's our example for this one. She decorated the cake and hid it in the box in the cupboard. Just like in the last slide, you'll see that I have the verbs in bold. But in this one sentence, there are 2 separate verbs, decorated and hid. Therefore, this is a compound predicate. Decorated the cake and hid it in the box in the cupboard. Pause the video and write down the sentences below. It's time for you to practice this on your own. Identify whether the underlined words show simple, complete, or compound predicates. When ready to check your work, press play. Okay, now it's time to check your work. Number 1, I listen to the radio at nighttime. Listen is underlined. Listen is a verb. Therefore, it is a simple predicate. It simply just tells the verb. Number 2, our class danced in the gym last Friday. Danced is our verb. In the gym last Friday are the words that modify or describe that verb. Therefore, that is a complete predicate. Number 3, they seemed amused by the music. Seemed would be actually our linking verb. This one's a little tricky. Amused by the music modifies that linking verb. Therefore, that is a complete predicate. And number 4, my 5th grade class likes to play basketball and create dances at recess. Play and create are 2 separate verbs. The rest of the words modify those verbs. Play basketball and create dances at recess is a compound predicate. Great job! It's now time for your application assignment. Please see your teacher for further instructions.